Um, we are going to shift our perspective now a little bit more towards the municipal level. So the next speaker will be Hans Arve Rognerud, who is emergency manager at Fredrikstad Kommune. Hans will provide us with a municipal perspective from the location where the pellets from the trans carrier were first found, and which was a heavily impacted location. So Hans will tell us about municipal preparedness against acute pollution and the experiences from the plastic pellet and paraffin wax events in 2020. Hans, you have 10 minutes. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I could just ask if you see my presentation good enough?
Yes, we can see it, but you're not in presentation mode.
Here we go, maybe. Yes. Yeah, good. And as Rune mentioned, he has some of the same main bullet as we found down here in Fredrikstad. And the first thing I will say is actually that I start up in the job down here the May 1st this year. So actually most of this happened before I started in the job. As you say, to say something about the Fredrikstad's emergency preparedness against acute pollution and the incidents we worked with down here. I will focus on the organization, the events and key takeaways. And the plan is to start with a movie, the first movie or film, which it gave us a good overview, but I think we could go through it anyway. Oops. Let's see. Yeah, I hope this give you some picture as how it was to do the work on site out there. The organization in Norway first, as Rune mentioned, the oil spill protection and environmental preparedness model is, as we see here, with the Norwegian Coastal Administration on top, the Intermunicipal Committee of Acute Pollution, which is 32 of them, and our 356 municipalities in Norway. The EUA Østfold, they cover 12 municipalities and 6 fire departments. Fredrikstad is specialized on the sea and Sarpsborg on chemicals. They have 1 emergency manager at full time. And more local here in Fredrikstad, we have a system based on the national 4 principle with responsibility, similarity, proximity, and interaction. And here in green, you see how we have adapted it to suit our organization. This is the local emergency and crisis organization. The incident we discussed today has been delegated to the section of culture, environment and agriculture, the KMB as marked with red. They have the contingency plans to handle environmental responsibility. And for example, they are having our environmental risk analysis, checklist, and all our plans in the DSP SIM system. Both the municipalities and Norwegian Coastal Administration have pollution authority. However, when the case is pollution and not littering, the NCA has a responsibility, as Rune mentioned. This makes it very important to determine what kind of material is hitting our coast. And these 2 incidents, the plastic pellets and kerosene wax, In cases concerning pollution, several may have a responsibility to follow up. Who ends up with the responsibility depends on what it is, the size, and if it's acute. And 3 phases who was important for us during this was the emergency phases with liquids. IUA more or less always get the warning and start concerning the next measures. And they coordinate the Norwegian with the Norwegian Coastal Administration and the municipalities involved. The emergency phase solids. In case with solids, Fredrikstad often get the warnings first and do the initial assessment, and involves our own assets like IUA, Oslofjord, Reconciliation Council, the Statsforvalter, and so on. If the source is known, we will make the polluter clean up and cover the cost. If the source is unknown and we are not able to identify it, we start the cleaning process as far as possible. And during and considering the governmental clarification, the main rule for us is if it's pollution, we can be absorbed into living organism, it's acute. And if it's big, the Norwegian Coastal Administration is the right authority to follow up. And if it's littering, not acute and not big, it's our responsibility. In both cases, we had these discussions. And to begin with, Fredrikstad was the first-hand authority. We started the cleaning and worked simultaneously with the governmental clarification. The aim of both actions were the same: clean as quick as possible to prevent prevalence and rebloomization, and find the source and impose them to cover the costs. Implementation. And the kerosene wax case, the Norwegian Coastal Administration provide financial guarantee, but Fredrikstad coordinate and cleaned up. And here we see the participants. And this all was a new situation, and we need to start thinking. At the slide here, you can see some of the methods and equipment we used and has been developed during the process. And here you can see the map and registration as the show before today. Some of the challenges. I would like to sum it up in 4 bullet points. The governmental relations, it takes time to place responsibility, and the time can be critical in the initial phase. Determining the size and possible consequences, finance and resources, and enough equipment to deal with the situation. And some of the success factors that we have the IUA able with their experience and equipment was critical. That in the Norwegian Coastal Administration provide financial guarantee and at the same point took over the responsibility. That NGOs exist with the support of authorities and other in their efforts to combat marine litter and pollution. Our schematics. That we have the Skjærgårdstjenesten, and that the cooperation with Oslofjord Friluftsråd is so well developed. And to sum it up with some of the key takeaways, financial security and governmental responsibility from Norwegian Coastal Administration. Fredrikstad has not the local, Fredrikstad as the local pollution authority does not have the experience or resources to deal with such as incidents on our own. Our ability to respond quickly, cooperation and interaction, how they were able to develop new equipment, and how we afterwards now are able to do evaluation to ensure organizational memory. Sorry. Yeah, that was fast, but I think it's inside time. So that's more or less conclude my briefing. Thank you.